conserve that last little drop of fuel, maybe to get to the end of the race. And we saw what happened with Will Power. You know, they've got to be cautious about how much they use that overtake button. Here, the race is still pretty early. You know, a few more pit stops to come. It might play out a bit differently here tonight. I mean, interesting to see, actually, Dan Weldon used all but 2, I think, of his overtakes.
Yeah, but one thing I do want to ask is, what about the temperature? The temperature is dropping here. What does that do to the performance?
Typically, we'll pick up a little bit of power as it cools down. I mean, the engine power curve will move around a little bit, so the teams will have to be thinking about how they've geared the cars towards the end of the race. As the night cools down, the power curve of the engine's going to move a little bit. Peak power will occur slightly earlier in the RPM band.
Thanks, Roger, for visiting with us.
No problem.
We're still under caution here at the Kentucky Speedway. Lap 92 has been completed of the 200. We'll be back with more next.
You can see more of that in-color interview that we teased a little while ago by joining us for our Motegi Indy Japan 300 race coverage. It'll be the next to the last race of the 2010 IZOD IndyCar season, and you can see it at 11 o'clock Eastern Time on September the 18th, only on Versus. All right, let's go down to Lindy Thaxton.
Ryan, you say what happened out there is a tough call.
Well, I mean, I haven't actually seen it yet, but, you know, we're going up there and we're all sort of in a bit of a group, and, you know, I saw Simona down the bottom, and Vitor had a run on me and Elio. I saw him go down the inside of Simona, and I was like, oh, why are you doing that? And, man, I just tried to stay on the gas and missed the accident, but unfortunately they touched, and there was nothing much we could do. But man, it was a hard hit, and it's just really disappointing. I think we had the real potential to get to the front tonight and win this, but not to be.
You could see there's something up with your knee. Are you okay?
I banged my knees together really hard, but they're fine. It's my foot. My foot's really badly bruised, but they took an x-ray and nothing broken, so just a bit of a bruise, and I'll be good for Japan.
Thank you, Ryan. We're going back to green. Bob?
Great news for Ryan Briscoe that he's okay, but he is eliminated from the championship as the Apex Brazil restart green flag comes out. We have several drivers on the overtake assist, including Dixon, Andretti, and Patrick. And by the way, all 4 Andretti Autosport cars are running in the top 10. Will Power, however, sets the pace, but not too far behind him is Dan Weldon. And here's Tony Kanaan and Ed Carpenter battling for 6th.
And his teammates making a move for the lead. Dan Weldon up high.
Longer distance up top there. Keep that in mind, too, when you always go up there. You got a little longer distance go. As long as that guy on the bottom has a good car that's turning, he doesn't have to get out of the gas on the bottom, you're really going to struggle to get by him on the high side.
He needs Ed Carpenter is what he needs right now. He needs a helper to help him go on the high side. It's very tough to do on your own.
Will Power has now led in 14 of 15 races this year. The only race he has not led was Kansas. In 1999, Juan Pablo Montoya led 15 races, and Dan Weldon led 15 in the IZOD IndyCar Series in 2005. Some very close racing here in the top 10.
Weldon's got some helpers now in Scott Dixon, Dario Franchitti right up behind him.
John, remember in the last pit stop that they took wing out of the car for Will Power? And that final pit stop during that caution, they wanted to put a little more wing in. They didn't get a chance. As we look at Danica Patrick taking a run on the inside on her teammate, Marco Andretti.
Yeah, that's a battle for 7th position. Marco in 7th and Danica in 8th. But here comes Justin Wilson.
All teammates in one shot.
Not a surprise to see the Andretti cars up here. They had 3 that finished in the top 5 at Chicago, but all 4 running right together. All three of the 4 right there.
Good to see Danica Patrick running up in the lead pack again. That's Ryan Hunter-Reay on her outside.
As I said, that's all 4 Andretti cars right there.
Yep. We are halfway, 100 laps completed, 100 laps to go. This is what happened to Ryan Hunter-Reay on the first lap as Takuma Sato crashed up front.
tried to lift. As Robbie said earlier, put some weight on the front. It makes it bite, keeps it running, keeps it straight. And of course, he's trying now.
And a great call, because he was saying, well, I don't think the tires are bad. He was going to stay out. He was already at the back of the pack. They did bring him in after that and put new tires on, which was a good call.
Now, of course, he's trying for the spin to win.
He's not any better than you. I think you got the edge here.
Well, I think it's funny, you know, Tony Kanaan, remember his motto here was patience, work together. Well, you keep seeing Marco popping up alongside. You got Danica and Ryan Hunter-Reay running side by side there. Man. Lindy, you got more with Vitor?
Yeah, I've got Vitor, and we talked to the other two people involved, so what's your take?
Well, my take is that I just look at the facts. You can even look at the car. That's where I was touched on the side pod on the front wheel. So that's I think that's a proof right there that I was in front and I was in front, inside. It's a lapped car, and I'm not gonna blame anybody because that's not what we should do here. But I was in front and got hit. I mean, I think that's the bottom line of it, and which is a shame because the ABC car and the AJ Foyt Racing it was one of our best races of the year. So
we're doing well,
and that's what is a shame. Still, though, we're doing well. We're gonna come back stronger. We still have 2 good races for us here this year, and let's go to the next one.
Not all bad memories here for you, though. You debuted here in 02, and you said you have wonderful memories of that day.
Yeah, I mean, memories you choose which ones you want to remember and the ones you don't. This one I'm going to forget, and the good ones I'm going to remember.
Thank you, Vitor. It was back in 02. He said that was the first time he did the pit stops. It was the first time, Bob, he was wheel to wheel out here with the IZOD IndyCar Series.
Yeah. In the top 10 is Paul Tracy in the blue and white car, the Motegi Racing Wheels machine. How about that? And Thomas Schechter's right behind him, and his teammate Bertrand Baguette, who ran so well in the early stages of the race, now running in 12th spot. How about PT, huh?
Well, and again, the mindset for him was to be fairly patient, which is not something that you put in the same sentence with Paul Tracy. It's patience. That just is not historically do. But he said, hey, I am going to be a little patient, feel out the car. And he's thinking, hey, I'm going to keep tuning it so when I come in for the...
Oh, look at that one. Whoa.
Hello.
Well, okay, loses 2 spots.
He obviously, something happened as he came off of turn 2 there, had to get out of the gas, and we saw Ryan Hunter-Reay blast by on the high side and Danica blast by on the inside.
Wow, man, oh man. Well, just one more note on Ryan Hunter-Reay. With Ryan Briscoe out of the race, Ryan can really rack up some points because he was in a tight battle with Ryan Briscoe for 5th in the point standings. On board with him, that's Ed Carpenter right ahead.
You know, as it does cool down, we'll keep going on board and we'll look at those steering wheels and we'll see how those little rev lights go and just figure out who's got the right gear for these cooler conditions, as we heard from the HPD guy.
So Tony is right behind Ed Carpenter. So the air is being taken off of the car here, and then, anytime you have a car that drops down in front of you, he has to lift. And look at one little lift, and the other cars just, as you said, Robbie, just go by like a slingshot.
Like being shot out of a canyon, as my good buddy Benny Carson used to say. First, second, and third right there, separated by 0.3 of a second. It is Will Power who's looking for his first oval track victory, leading the way over Dan Weldon, Scott Dixon, Dario Franchitti, and Ed Carpenter, the top 5 at Kentucky.
The Kentucky 300 on Versus is brought to you by Peak Performance Products. When you peak, you win. And by Apex Brazil. To learn more about our Brazilian goods and services, log on to experienceourenergy.com.
Feel the excitement? That's Peak Performance. And it's electric.
The fun never stops with the Peak Power Inverter. It instantly converts your car's battery power to household power. Great for travel, mobile office, and all-out tailgating. It's easy to hook up. Plug in almost anything. Laptop, cell phone, TV, blender, whatever. Peak inverters turn your car into a